Flower. What a great old tune that is. And it's one of the standards. You'll learn that when you'll play it in many, many jam sessions. You'll play it and sing it to your kids. Great old tune. This is the tune that hooked me on frailing. Many years ago, my family and I were in our teepee, camping in our teepee, what we call a rendezvous. And off in the darkness, in another lodge, I heard a banjo playing the Wildwood Flower. And I was trying to learn it in Scruggs style, and I had a hard time picking up the melody of the song. I don't think I was born to be a bluegrass player. I just couldn't get it. And I heard this, and I immediately recognized the tune, and ran up to the guy and said, "What are you doing? It sounds great." He said, "Oh, I'm frailing." Well, it was a busy weekend, and I didn't get to corner him. And of course, there's no corners in a teepee anyway, so I guess I would have rounded him into showing me what he was doing. But I asked my banjo player, teacher, and he said, "Oh, yeah, that frailing stuff," and just kind of went off. And a few years later, I found Paul Schoenwetter, may he rest in peace. And he shared music with us for many, many years in his home. And he was a frailer, and we picked up the love of the banjo and the basics of frailing from him. As a matter of fact, some of the tunes that you'll be downloading from our tablature, we tabbed out in Paul's living room many, many years ago. Part of the sharing of folk music. Pass it on, always. So, you've got your strum down there. So far, your left hand has done nothing but probably just rest on the banjo head. Hopefully you've got your strap on, so you're not holding the banjo neck up with this hand, because now it's got to go to work. And if you're busy keeping it from tipping over, you're going to have a hard time. So if you don't have a strap, get one quickly and set it up so that your banjo will support itself. So the basic strum is going along. Might sound nice. You're probably sick of it by now. I know your family is. Hearing that. But hopefully it's 80% now in your muscle memory. You may lose your rhythmic flow once in a while, but it's coming. It's getting there. Now it's time to put this hand to work. And work it will. Because while the strum is the heart and the foundation of old-time banjo, the chords are really, let's call them the roadmap. It's what gets you where you're going. Because without the chord changes and the changes in of the music, it becomes very boring. So most of the songs you're going to see they'll have from 2 to 5 chords in them. That's just in a range like that. The most basic ones have 2. Go Tell Aunt Rhody, 2-chord song. Boil 'em Cabbage Down, 3-chord song. With 3 chords, you can play thousands of really great old-time songs. You can sing along with them, do a lot. You throw in a few minors, a couple of other chords, and you can do an awfully lot. We're going to start at the very, very beginning. Now we're back to Genesis again. Ain't this great? Beginnings are wonderful because so much stretches out ahead of you. So much to learn and experience. But this is where we start on our chords. Now, you can download, if you're looking at the CD, there's a section right on the CD. You can download your chord chart. I want you to do that and have it ready for reference. Be a big help to you. If you're looking at the VHS tape, you'll see flashing a URL where you can go and download a chord sheet. So we're trying to give you this technology in 2 different ways, so just bear with us there. But if you're on the CD, you can download it right from the CD. And on there we've got 5 chords right now that you're going to need to get through this video experience that we're going through. Now, of course, you have your open G chord right there. It's a freebie. You hardly have to think at all. It's right there. The next one I want you to make is a C chord. And it's not too difficult. Look at your chart and you'll see that it involves the first 2 frets, okay? And you want your index finger to fret right behind the fret wire, 2nd string, 1st fret. Your ring finger will fret at the 1st string, 2nd fret, and your middle finger, 4th string, 2nd fret. And this is the sound of a C chord. Melodic, very nice. Now listen to the way the G and the C go together. Okay, sounds nice, doesn't it? That's the way the music will flow along, and you're going to get to the point where you can feel a chord change coming. It's there. The music builds to a point where it must change. And you will instinctively know as time goes by, you're going to get it right 85% of the time. If you have a choice from going from G to C or G to D or to E minor, you're going to know, you're going to feel it. And you're going to hit it right with practice and determination. But in the beginning, you got to think about it. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to show you how to think about these chords so that they become part of your muscle memory, just like your basic strum. I want to stress hand position. You will see me sometimes playing this way. You will too. You'll do that. But for now, for right now, I want you to take your thumb and just rest it right there. Okay? Don't curl it around yet. Wait till you're more experienced before you do that. You want to have made the correct chords cleanly many, many hundreds and thousands of times before you relax like that. Keep it right there. Okay? And notice it's movable. The great thing about us human beings is this thumb. It does a lot of things. You can hitchhike with it, we can write, we can use tools, and we can play the banjo. Okay? So this will allow us to move our hand around to get the proper position for making a clean chord. Now, everybody's fingers, everybody's hands are different. You can have hands like Patrick's that look like catcher's mitts and get a very delicate touch on the banjo. So it doesn't matter the size or the smallness or the slenderness of your fingers. You'll find the position that works for you. Now on that C chord, what I want you to do is get the proper thumb position and then just kind of, see there, just arch your hand up and get down so that the tips of your fingers, right here, are coming straight down on the strings. It's easy to say, but in the beginning, you're going to muffle some chords. You're going to get this when you want this. So you'll know when you hear it, it'll be clean and crisp and melodic, and you'll know that you've got the right finger position. Now remember, you don't want to fret right on the wire. You want to get right behind it. And eventually, you won't even have to look at your fingerboard. You'll be playing along and singing and just going where you got to go. But for now, we'll walk through these, and I know you're going to have to stop, place your fingers, and go on. It's a natural, normal process. There again, it's going to take you a couple of weeks of rather intense concentration and practice to get that down. Okay? So let's make a few chords. Use your chart, just have it in front of you somewhere, and we'll just make a few chords. Then we'll put the bump ditty in and very slowly begin changing chord positions, chord forms, so that you'll be able to begin playing simple songs. It'll make it a lot easier. As I said, allow another couple of weeks. Everybody has a different learning curve, but a couple of weeks isn't unreasonable to get this down smoothly so that you got it 80%. And you'll find that very soon after that, you'll be making music. So let's show again a C chord. Okay. Okay. Now, from the C, we will go to a D seventh. And this is pretty easy. The good thing is, if you notice on your chord sheet, the D seventh, index finger, second string, first fret, middle finger, third string, second fret. Well, G, we've been here before. There's our C chord. To make a D seventh, this goes back to the same place, and all you do is move this one over one. D seventh. Okay, so here's a C. Here's a D seventh. See how easy that is? And again, you'll hear that it blends in there. It fits into a nice pleasant sound in a chord progression there. So there's a G, your freebie. There's your C. And look how easy it is to make a D seventh out of a C. Or a D seventh out of a G. Okay? So there isn't a whole lot moving, but hand position on the neck is very important. You want to be able to move that hand freely to find the best position for yourself. Do that several hundreds of times. Muscle memory will kick in. Viola, you got it. It's going to be great. I'm going to show you two more chords that we will be using in this. The E minor chord. Hear that sound? It's a minor sound. Lots of great songs use the E minor chord in the key of G. You'll use it a lot, and you want to use that. Now it's also very simple. All it is the same fingering as a C chord without the index finger. So instead of index on the second string, first fret, you leave that open and do the first string, second fret, fourth string, second fret. You have an E minor chord. Okay? So let's go through then those four chords which you will be using in the tablature that we're providing on at least some of the songs. Your G, your C, your D seventh, and your E minor. And as you explore the music and the folk music and the old-time music, you'll use those chords a lot. You'll be able to flip back and forth between them like nobody's business. We'll do some exercises in just a minute. There's one more chord I want you to learn. F chord. Now the F really doesn't fit into the G tuning, or the G progression. It'll be out of C. But a lot of the songs we're giving you are in the key of C. And you'll be playing there, of course, the C chord and the G chord. The only difference is an F chord. And I'm going to give you what we used to call in the tenor banjo a baby chord. It's only got 3 strings being struck. You don't want to strike the 4th string, just the first 3. And it's much easier to finger as you progress later on. If you're playing in the key of C out of open G tuning, you will want to use the full chord because you'll be all over the fretboard, and Patrick will go over that with you in his section. But I'm going to show you a quick and easy way that you don't have to get into some contorted hand positions for an F chord. There you go. Okay, first string at the 3rd fret. Second string at the 1st fret. 3rd string at the 2nd fret. And you'll notice there's an X over the 4th string. Just don't play it. Don't pay attention to it. You don't need it for this. So there's your F, your C, and your G. And you see that they sound good together too. So if you're playing in the key of C, you'll be using your C chord, your F chord, and your G chord. And in the key of G, your G, your C, your D7th, and your E minor. Okay? What you might want to do for a few minutes is just make those different forms and look at your banjo neck when you do that. Because a very important part of developing your muscle memory is using all your senses: hearing, touch, eyes, so you can see where these are going. And as you develop as a musician, it becomes second nature. It's something you won't even think about. So just look at your chart for a few minutes and do that. Now, let's put some of these chords together. Let's string them together with the bump ditty. Now again, rhythm has nothing to do with speed. So we're going to play this at a very, very moderate speed with the rhythm, the bump ditty, but I'm going to pause in the beginning here between chord changes to give you a chance to formulate your chord. Okay? And I think what we'll do, let's see. We'll do it that long. It'll be like 2 measures, 4 bump ditties. Okay? And then we'll change. And what you want to do, like when we're in the G, right now start thinking about a C chord. All right? And you can begin positioning your hand and get it ready. So then when it hits, you're into it. Music is like reading a book. You don't read a book 1 word at a time. You read a book several words at a time. Your brain can absorb that. Your sentences flow. And speed readers can read dozens of words at a time. So your brain is quite capable of playing the G chord, thinking about a C chord, and then over the course of a little bit of practice, smoothly go into the transition. In actual playing, you won't start thinking about it probably until a split second before the change. But in the beginning, to get your smooth handwork down, just try that. On the 3rd bump ditty of each chord we're playing, begin envisioning the next chord. And you'll have your sheet in front of you, I hope, and you'll find it much smoother. It's still going to be difficult. It's going to take time. But you can do it. I know you can. Okay, let's see if we can do this, folks. I'm going to do 4 bump ditties, which would be 2 full measures in 4/4 time. On the 3rd bump ditty, I will call out the chord. Begin envisioning it, see it in your mind, and then I'll pause, give you just a slight pause to get your fingering down, and then we'll go on again. First time we've done this on film is going to be interesting. Let's see if we can make this happen for you. G chord, open, no fingering. C chord. Back to a G. Very good. Let's go to a D7th. To a G. Okay, now you notice I didn't allow too much time in there. It's It's very difficult for my brain to do that, but we'll try it again. And when we go back to the G chord, I'm not going to give you any time, because all you have to do is pick your finger up. You're not forming anything, you're releasing. So when you go back to the G chord, it's just a release. Okay? So let's try that again. We'll go to the C and the D7th out of G, always going back to the G. Now, you can hit the first string, the second string, not important. You can let your hand go where it wants. You can stay on the first string for your bump, or hit the second. Experiment a little bit, listen to the different sounds. You'll want to do that. So just play around and see what happens there. Concentrate on making the correct chords. Okay? So it's going to be 4G, then 4C, then 4G, 4D7th, 4 more G. Here we go. This is exciting. Now you're beginning to put musical sounds together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Think of your C. Very good. Back to a G. Okay. Think of a D7th. Back to a G. Very good. Now if you're like me, when I first started, I really had to look and place my fingers, work at it. It's nothing that time, patience, and practice will not overcome. It does take focus. You're going to get very frustrated 15 minutes at a time and go back. And every time you do it, you're going to get a little bit better at it. You're at the point now, folks, where a lot of people say, I can't do it, and walk away. You owe yourself better. Don't do that. You can do this. It's a lot of fun, and there's a whole musical world out there just waiting for you. There's jam sessions that need a banjo player, okay? There's vaudeville shows that would kill for a banjo player. So keep working at it and get smooth with it. Again, 80%. Doesn't have to be perfect. 80%, and you'll know when you're ready to go on to the next level, which will be putting together a very simple song. Now I'm going to do a couple of more chords here. Then the next chapter, we're going to play 2 songs with the chords we've used today. We'll do Go Taliant Rhodey, which is a great old folk song, and Boil 'em Cabbage Down. Go Taliant Rhodey is in G. Boil 'em Cabbage Down is in C. And they're great songs, and you're not only going to play them, you're also going to sing. Because if you don't sing, you're missing half of the fun. And singing will help you feel the chord changes. It'll make you a better musician. So we're going to do that too. So let's go through them again. I've left off the F and the E minor. You can work those in. The printout is there. Just work them in. Now remember, for the F chord, you want to use the C, F, and G. C, F, and G. And on the G side of it, you can throw in the E minor pretty much anywhere you want. Get used to the sounds and the feel of making the chords. Now, I'm just going to go through it for a while, and we'll go out with me just strumming chords and calling out the chord changes. Play along or just listen. There's your G. Comes a C. Back to a G. Here we go. G. To a D7th. Back to a G. One more time through. Here's your G. To a C. To a G. To a D7th. Nothing to it, right? Work on that. Next we're going to do a song.